Everyone, it's Broman here. I'm sorry for the noise in the background. It's my dryer. I'm getting clothes done tonight instead of doing it tomorrow, just because that way it's done and out of the way with. But I want to talk about the battle strategies and stuff. I was watching this video from 2 weeks ago called "A Military Analysis of the Last Jedi" or Wiser One, something. I don't know. I didn't see the rest of it, but it's by what's his name? King Emperor Penguin, which I do recommend actually watching that video. But pretty much he's just giving his analysis and stuff on the battles that took place and all that, like such as the obvious thing, why there's still new X-wing models after 30 years from Return of the Jedi, and the same thing with TIE fighter models. There were new, like at least the only thing that new was the bombers, which were just reminiscent of B-52 bombers. And then you had their First Order's new fighter, which I believe was the fighter that Kylo Ren used on that the Resistance command ship, the capital ship. And that was really it. Nothing entirely new, kind of the same stuff that was used from the original trilogy, and the Star Stories were a new updated version, but that's about it. It's kind of funny, you think after 30 years that the technology would be different, especially like with the blasters look old, like the blast rifles that the Resistance had looks like garbage and stuff, and which is really weird since it's been 30 years that you think the technology would have been better, and that they have to, from what I was reading from the artwork or something from the Force Awakens, that one ship that Leia came in was like parts of like other ships or whatever, which like that doesn't make sense. Like if she would have some money or something left or whatever, some sort of support where they would give her good ships, like the Resistance good ships. They have the resources and stuff. Because in my opinion, some people say that it might be a terrorist group or something like that. In my opinion, they're kind of like a private militia force or something like that. That's just acting out of the interest of, the New Republic to fight the First Order, because the Republic, for some reason, didn't think that the First Order was a threat, which is kind of odd, because I was playing the Project Resurrection stuff and the campaign for Battlefront 2, and they're talking about how the First Order was kidnapping children, which is kind of weird that's going on, because you'd think that the Republic would come in and stop that. But the whole thing is still kind of stupid, because it's the Empire that has returned in this new form and stuff, which is completely stupid. It's like, because J.J. Abrams was saying, well, let's think about how the Nazis return. The Nazis wouldn't return. Wouldn't be allowed. Like, even during the Cold War, the Soviet Union would go after them because of what happened and stuff, them being betrayed. And the United States is not going to allow it. No one would. They would get decimated, period. So that whole thing was kind of stupid, but, it's because no one could think of anything new. They had to retrend on the original trilogy and stuff, and this is what this is a problem with the expanding universe after the events of Return of the Jedi, is that they kept fighting. The New Republic kept fighting the Imperial remnants and stuff, and a new form of it and stuff, and it got so overwhelming that the only new thing that came from it was the Yushing Vong War and then like the Darkness trilogy. I mean, that was about it. I understand, maybe the Admiral Thrawn trilogy would work, that stuff, and then that would be it of the Empire and everything. It could be completely destroyed, because there's just should be no reason to leave anything left behind, because then you're being stupid and allowing that threat to return. I don't know why they had to keep, using the Imperial remnants and stuff for that crap. It gets kind of old and stuff, which is probably a good reason why they got rid of it. But then again, they're kind of just doing it all over again anyways, which is really poor. That they just kind of come with it. Sorry, that was my phone. But anyways, getting back to the technology, things should have evolved over 30 years, because 30 years ago compared to today, things have evolved. Our fighters are different. Our our jet fighters, our attack fighters, and everything. We have dozens of types, or at least several, and our weapons are different. Somewhat, I mean, they haven't exactly changed too much in the past decade or something like that. We're still kind of using the same stuff, especially with tanks. But a few things have improved here and there. Just mainly our attack fighters have. I mean, we're still using some old stuff. Like, what was I know we're using that one fighter that was in, like, was it Terminator Salvation or whatever, that was at the A10 Thunderbird 2, I think it's what it's called. I can't remember. I think that's what it's called. I would have to look it up or something, but yeah, I think there's that, and maybe a couple other things like that we haven't really updated yet, because maybe it's just effective at what it is right there. But we have bombers and stuff, that can't be seen by radar or something like that, because the way how they're designed, reflect, the radar where it bounces off, like the signals, they don't get it. There's nothing there unless they turn a certain way or something like that. Or they open their, was it the B2 bombers? They open it, then that's at least a signal that they're there or something like that. But it's open closed, so that way it might look like a glitch or something like that. And so we have those, and then we have our F-22 and F-35s that are used. And I'm just thinking to myself, if technology has evolved, from that time period, it's like you think they would give a new update, get rid of the X-wings and stuff, and have something completely new. But for some reason, they can't think of anything else besides the X-wings. I know, they're popular, starfighter ships, but it's like it's okay to have something new. They can look at the jet fighters and stuff of today and take ideas from them and stuff, and and say this is the new types of starfighters that we're looking at and all that. Especially with the only thing that's new with those first order TIE fighters that they at least have shieldings, and then they have those. I think they can jump hyperspace. I think like both types can. Because I know there's two different types. There's just the regular ones, and then there's the ones for the special forces, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's all I can really think of. I mean, especially with the battle tactics that they're using. They with crate, they just have the thing there, but they don't. I don't know if they would be able to put mine. Probably not, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they could figure out what to do certain traps and stuff for those new first order walkers. So that way they can slow them down. So because the fact that that they didn't think of thinking at the time, and this is a weird thing too about Empire Strikes Back, is that it's on a snow planet and stuff and all that, but it's like I don't know if maybe just the rebellion at the time didn't have the resources for those types of guerrilla tactics and stuff to put mines out and stuff to slow them down, because that probably would have helped, honestly. Is that if they had mines and sort of bombs or whatever and all that, and had these other units further out there in a way, to have rocket launchers and stuff to shoot at their turret things and stuff, because those are really the only threats for those walkers. That if you shoot those, and the walkers, the only thing that they can do is just continue going forward and with the troops that they have. Which I guess the troops are on there, but then they repel down and stuff. So I don't think the walkers can get into some sitting motion or whatever to let the troops out. I think the stormtroopers would have to rappel down. But that's another thing though, because they're kind of like redoing the whole Hoth thing, and the fact that Finn was doing the right thing in a way, to at least willing to give it a shot to sacrifice himself to crash into that laser cannon, which probably would have worked. I think it would have worked, but they had plans for him in the next movie and stuff, and probably another trilogy that takes place after the sequel trilogy, which I don't know. I'm kind of done with Star Wars anyways with the movies. I don't plan on watching anymore. The Last Jedi was pretty much it for me. Even the Solo movie, I'm like, this guy, I don't even know how to say his name, like Alder something or whatever, who can't even act. So I don't know what they're doing there with that, but it's like, there was 3 Han Solo books originally that were out, like I think they came out in the 90s or early 2000s, telling his backstory, that he was in the Empire, he was like an Imperial pilot, stuff, and then he left, and during that time, he met Chewie and Lando and stuff. So, the fact that they kind of just remake those as canon or something like that, or just put books out instead of doing, these anthology movies or something like that. I mean, because there was that Star Wars book called Death Star, talking about it and stuff. So, and then we had The Force Unleashed, which was making some connections to the Death Star. I think that's what you're fighting on, and final area was the Death Star. I don't think it was the executive, the executor Star Dreadnought. I don't think it was that. I know you were there on it, and then Galen Merrick got like pushed out of it and stuff, but yeah, I think that was it. So I mean, there was stuff there trying to make sense of it, along with like Star Wars Dark Forces with was it Kyle Katarn, who was still the Death Star fan. So there's things there that they could just maybe recreate or something like that into those other forms of media, so that way they didn't have to waste their time on a movie, because the movie was just dull and stuff, and but they have to make these movies, I guess, in a way to make their money back. The only problem though is that they don't have it planned out stuff like Kevin Feige did for, well, how he has his stuff planned out pretty much for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And he's got storyboards, everything, all that, so that way everything's excuse me. So, but yeah, they really didn't know, because it's like Force Awakens was setting up stuff, and then The Last Jedi just did not do anything. And I also saw another video that actually was talking about how Rey is like a wound in the Force, like she makes these Force bonds and stuff, kind of like Mitra Surik and Knights of the Old Republic 2, the Sith Lords, that she feeds off of the energy and stuff, to make herself more powerful. So, like after all the stormtroopers, everything that she's killed, especially then with her helping in a way of destroying Starkiller Base, of who knows how many died on that place and that were left behind by accident, or just couldn't make it. How much energy she possibly could have fed off of that, to help unlock her power and stuff. Which I heard that theory. It was the guy's name was like Boo Fire some after that. So I'm trying to remember these names and stuff, but his analysis is his theory on Rey actually sounded pretty good. I agree with him. But yeah, the whole battle situation, everything just needed to be better. They were pretty bad. I think we can all agree on that. Just General Hux being made a fool, especially that part where he bitch slapped Finn, and he's like he was just like so happy about like hitting this guy, like just going, and I'm like, who does that? Like, I don't think a military officer bitch slaps, a subordinate or whatever, or someone who left or anything like that. I've never seen that happen. Maybe, I don't know, they punched, at least, but I guess it would look bad if a white guy punched a black guy, I guess, in today's age or something like that in the movies. I don't know. It seems kind of weird, to see him do that and then see him like so happy about it that he just finally slaps him across the face. I'm like, dude, like, what the hell? Like, what should have happened is, like, he should have had him brought up, punch him in the gut or something like that and stuff, and like beat his ass. The punishment for abandoning the first order and stuff. There should have been something else. Like him doing or whatever, because it's like, he's in command of that area of all those stormtroopers. But and the scene was kind of whack too, especially when, like, Phasma's there and then the ship's explosion, but then Phasma's like over another direction all of a sudden with all these other stormtroopers. Like, did she get blown all the way off? Like, the explosion like caused her to like fly across the room like that, and then she's like up all of a sudden with all these other stormtroopers like carrying her off, because she was just there, and then the explosion. I mean, I thought she like got knocked backwards a little bit, but then all of a sudden she's like on the other side somewhere else. I'm like who who was doing the editing during this? Like, so yeah, just that's it really. They just need to do an update. The tactics. Because there's different guerrilla warfare tactics today and stuff and all that. And all they had to do really is go through the Art of War book. I guess they want to take stuff from that. For the Resistance, they could have, but the only thing though is that the Resistance is made up of people who were once part of the New Republic, Starfleet, and other branches of the military. So it's like they know how to have good military tactics and stuff, but it's pretty bad. General Hux should have just killed Poe right there, but they had to make a joke out of the character, which is just, it's stupid. I'm like, I feel like I'm watching the prequels right there for a second. It's horrible. So hopefully things can change for the better. Maybe they get rid of Kathleen Kennedy and they just say, hey, you know what, sequel trilogy, let's just say it's nothing and stuff, and we'll just do something new out of it. Because I didn't mind when they say, hey, Rey's going to be the new character. I'm like, okay, that's fine if you want to change things up. Don't have a problem with it. Like a lot of other people, especially when trying to be a stormtrooper, he's black, and I'm like, I guess some people thought all stormtroopers were white. I'm like no, stormtroopers are just humans and stuff, and they don't like aliens. So, which is true, they don't. Although they did recruit some alien bounty hunters in Empire Strikes Back to find the Millennium Falcon. So, but yeah, just they gotta step up their game and stuff, and they get rid of the Battlefront games, and they gotta get rid of these movies, and just someone's gotta come in and just hit the reset button. It's like, all right, we screwed up. We're gonna hit this reset button, and we're gonna start all over again because we don't know what we were doing. So, unless they do, or they just don't give a shit. But yep, that's it. Maybe I'll do another video on something else. But yeah, that's it for now. Bye.